Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Patrick Byrne, a 26-year-old U.S. Army Ranger who allegedly murdered Denise Smith, a 41-year-old security guard. So according to the police report, this man at 1 a.m. was in a bar fight, got punched in the face, and wound up leaving the bar. He then made his way to the office building that Miss Smith worked at. So police allege that witnesses saw Mr. Byrne get punched in a bar fight at a bar on Saturday night. Now, he was heavily intoxicated and around 1 a.m. made his way to the building that Denise Smith worked at. Now, according to the report, he appeared at the door of the building and barged right past Miss Smith, who then went to do her job to ask him to leave or get identification or something of those lines. According to the reports, he repeatedly overpowered her, repeatedly beat her, and dragged her around like a rag doll. Investigators said that the security cameras recorded about 10 minutes of footage of him repeatedly attacking and abusing her, and she repeatedly tried to fight back, but it was to no avail. Now, after leaving her severely beaten, he proceeded to enter a conference room where he broke a window and was throwing furniture around. Then he proceeded to jump off of a 14-foot landing, which security cameras caught him laying there on the ground. Now, Sunday morning, police did arrive to the scene because they got a 911 call about a bloody man who was laying on the ground yelling for help at the scene where the crime was committed. Now, he was taken to the hospital, and Burns told the police officers that he's been stabbed, but they didn't see no physical evidence of any stabbing or any knife wound. And then he told the nurses in the hospital he was sexually assaulted, but he declined to let any of the nurses perform any related exams. Now, officers did say he was heavily intoxicated and had a head injury. And when they questioned him at the hospital, he said he did not have any memory of what happened and that he blacked out. As of right now, currently, he's being charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, and burglary. And he has entered a plea of not guilty. Now, the sad part is the 41-year-old Denise Smith, this was only her 5th shift working for that building. Now, the details that were given for what actually happened is very graphic. Byrne approached the door and she opened it. In an apparent attempt to tell him to leave, he beat her for 8 to 10 minutes, the newspaper reported. During that time, the defendant repeatedly punched the victim with his fists, and he grabbed her by her braid and drugged her around like a rag doll, prosecutors wrote according to the News Tribune. He punched Smith in the face, stabbed her in the face with her keys, tried to gouge out her eyes with the keys, and then flipped her onto her stomach and tried to choke her, the newspaper noted. 5 King reported that he left the scene and claimed he was sexually assaulted and stabbed, but he was never examined for the former, and he had no wounds indicating the latter was true. The television station reported that Byrne stopped Smith from escaping and then threw furniture around the lobby. Reading this report is very sickening. I understand the man was drunk, but that is no excuse whatsoever. That was a very savage way for a person to be murdered. I mean, let's think about the situation in a vacuum. Here you have a man who has military training and is attacking a defenseless security guard who is a woman at that. Then you punch them repeatedly. They try to get away. You ragdoll them by the hair, their braids. You repeatedly stab them with their keys, and then you choke them till they're lifeless. Like, if that speaks of a person that's just savage or an animal, so to speak, I don't know what is. That is very hard to fathom, to actually choke the life out of somebody, especially a woman. And I don't care that alcohol was a part of it. That's just truth serum. It takes a hell of a person to actually choke the life out of another individual. And I hope whatever the outcome is for the sentencing and everything like that, he gets the maximum of everything there is, because there's no excuses for that. Absolutely no excuses. My prayers and thoughts go out to the Smith family, and liquor or not, I hope this man gets everything that's coming to him. This is definitely a story that I'll be keeping my eyes on and update you guys on. I'm Walls P. There's Matter of Opinion, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Time is it? Better get up and grind. I woke up, soaked from a bad dream. I've been sweating like crazy. Got up, skin stuck to the bed sheets. Open window for a cold breeze. I have nothing to eat in my kitchen. Old coffee and yesterday's pizza. Listen, I promise to clean my floor, but I have no interest to fulfill my chores today. As long as the sun is shining and the weather is showing its face, just like me, it's been hiding. People painting the world with its rays, so I skip on my obligations. Like so many times before, reach for the door out to reclaim my faith in the making. God, I am here for the taking. Oh, it's a matter of opinion if I'm right, but I'm leaving off for now to go outside, putting chores and obligations on our pile. See them towering over me, know it too high.
Yo, I had it with this shit. Yo, I gave it all I got, but it seems like it's not enough. Now I'm sitting there watching all these bills piling up like,